I had this moment the other day that I think just perfectly encapsulates the problem we're talking about today.
Oh, yeah.
I was driving using my GPS. I won't name the brand, but
Yeah.
you know the one. And I was trying to get to this new restaurant.
Okay.
And the GPS, in its like infinite robotic wisdom, it tells me to turn left.
Right.
Specifically, it tells me to turn left into a literal construction pit.
It wasn't wrong, technically speaking.
Yeah.
The road was there on the map. It existed.
Right. The road existed on the digital map. The coordinates were correct. But, I mean, there was bulldozer parked sideways and a guy holding a stop sign looking at me like I was a complete idiot. And the GPS is just sitting there cheerfully recalculating, completely oblivious to the fact that the context, the real world, had changed. It knew the geography, but it didn't know the vibe.
And that right there is the classic paradox of modern artificial intelligence. It's this huge gap. We have built these incredible systems that can, calculate pi to 1 trillion digits. They can beat grandmasters at chess. They can fold proteins.
Stuff that seems impossibly smart.
Exactly. But if you ask the most advanced AI on the planet to simply read the room or understand that a giant yellow bulldozer means don't go there, it completely falls apart.
It's the difference between a tool and a teammate.
That's the perfect way to put it.
And that is exactly what we are unpacking today. We're so used to thinking of AI as a servant, a really, really fancy calculator that just does exactly what it's told. But what happens when you need AI to be a partner, someone or something that understands the unspoken rules, anticipates that you're maybe stressed out, and maybe even taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, you're about to make a mistake?
That is a massive conceptual leap. It really is.
Yeah.
It is the difference between data processing, which, computers are great at, and what you could call social intelligence,
Right.
which is all the murky, messy, emotional stuff that humans do without even thinking.
And to figure out how to bridge that gap, we are looking at some absolutely fascinating documents today from DARPA.
The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, the folks who essentially invented the internet.
The heavy hitters. Specifically, we're looking at their ASIST program. That stands for Artificial Social Intelligence for Successful Teams.
It's quite a mouthful.
It is. We've got presentation decks, workshop materials from Joshua Elliott and Brian Sandberg. These are the program managers. And let me tell you, this is not your standard, let's build a bigger, stronger robot pitch.
No, it's much more subtle than that, much more ambitious. They've laid out this really incredible mission. Can we teach an AI to have a theory of mind?
Theory of mind. We're going to get into that.
Yep. Can we teach it to understand us humans well enough to actually help us survive in these really high-stakes environments?
And the way they're testing this.
Yeah.
Look, I was skeptical when I first saw it. I actually laughed out loud.
I think we all did.
We're going to get to the laboratory later, and let me just say, if you have kids or if you were a gamer in the last decade, you are going to recognize it immediately.
Oh, for sure.
But before we get to the fun stuff, we have to understand the problem. Why is this so hard?
So let's look at the core tension that's described in the source material. It basically boils down to this. Machines are incredible at satisfying literal specifications,
Okay.
but they are terrible at achieving an intended outcome.
Satisfying literal specifications. That sounds like the plot of every genie movie, right? You rub the lamp, you wish for $1 million, and the genie drops 1 million male deer on your house.
Precisely. It's the King Midas problem. It's a classic.
Right. I want everything I touch to turn to gold.
And the system, the magic, or in this case, the AI, gives you exactly that, literally. And then you starve to death because you can't eat a golden apple.
So the machine satisfied the literal specification, turn X to gold. But it completely missed the intended outcome, which was make me rich and happy, not make me a very shiny corpse.
Exactly. And when we're talking about military applications or search and rescue, which is what DARPA is focused on here, that distinction isn't just a funny anecdote. It's life or death.
Yeah.
If you tell a robot, secure this building, and it locks all the doors from the outside while a fire is raging inside.
It secured the building. Task complete.
It followed the code, it satisfied the spec, but it failed the mission because it didn't understand the context that securing shouldn't involve trapping the good guys in an inferno.
So the documents, they point out that traditional AI is trained on what they call predefined reward functions. You give it points for doing
Correct.
X.
It's like training a dog with treats.
But in the real world, X changes constantly. The rules change.
And humans are good at this.
Oh,
We
yeah.
adapt because we don't just follow rules. We rely on mental models.
Okay, I want to stick a pin in this phrase because the source material uses it about 100 times. Mental models. Feels a little bit like corporate speak, a bit jargony. Can we break that down into plain English?
It does sound buzzwordy, I know. But think about it this way. When you walk into a coffee shop, you have a mental model of how to get coffee.
Okay.
You know, you stand in line, you order, you pay, you wait for your name to be called. You don't scream at the barista. You don't try to walk behind the counter to make it yourself.
Right. I'm running a simulation in my head of how a coffee shop works. I'm not learning it from scratch every time.
Exactly. You aren't reading a rule book on the wall. You are simulating the flow, the social contract of that space. Now, DARPA breaks this down into 3 specific buckets that are crucial for a team.
Okay.
First, you have a mental model of the environment. In the coffee shop, that's knowing where the counter is, where the door is, you know how gravity works, the basic physics of the place.
Basic geometry. A Roomba has that, more or less.
A Roomba kind of has that. It has a map. But even that is limited. It doesn't understand what a chair is, just that it's an obstacle.
Got it.
But let's move to the second one, because this is where AI usually falls flat on its face. The mental model of others.
This is the mind-reading part.
Essentially, yes, it's the beginning of it. To be a good teammate, I don't just need a model of the world. I need to simulate your simulation. I need to have a model in my head of what you were thinking.
Okay, give me an example.
If I see you looking frantically under your desk, I infer that you've lost something, probably your keys or your phone. I don't need you to submit a form saying, I am currently searching for a lost object. I just know.
Because I have empathy. I know what it feels like to lose my keys, so I recognize the behavior in you. I can model your internal state.
Right, but if I'm a computer, I just see pixels moving. I see human subject A has lowered head elevation 2.5 meters and is moving it in a sweeping pattern. I don't inherently understand that you have a goal that is being blocked.
Okay, so there's environment, and there's others. What's the third one?
Shared mental models, or SMM. This is the holy grail of teaming. This is the magic.
Shared mental models.
It's when everyone on the team has the same picture, the same simulation running in their head of what the goal is and how to get there. And when you have that, you don't even need to talk to coordinate. It's like telepathy.
The source material actually uses a really cool visual analogy for this. They have these diagrams of basketball plays.
Yes, the basketball diagrams are perfect for illustrating this. It's such a great choice.
So imagine a pick and roll.
Right.
You have the point guard with the ball, and you have the center. It's loud, the crowd is screaming, the shot clock is ticking down.
High pressure.
The point guard doesn't stop, pull out a whiteboard and say, okay, center, I'm going to dribble left, so please move to coordinates X, Y to block the defender.
If they did that, the defender would just steal the ball. They'd lose immediately.
Exactly. They just move. The center sees the guard dip his shoulder, maybe just a flick of the eyes, and instantly knows he's going left. The center moves to set the pick. The pass is made. It's seamless.
They are operating on a shared mental model. They've practiced it, sure, but in the moment, it's instinct. They both know the unspoken rules of that play.
And so DARPA wants to build an AI that can essentially set a pick for a human teammate, metaphorically or literally, without being explicitly told to do it.
And that is a massive, massive challenge. It requires the AI to stop looking at the world as a series of independent tasks. Move here, pick up object, and start seeing it as a web of social interactions and hidden intentions.
It has to understand the why behind the movement.
Precisely, the intent.
This leads us right into the cognitive science aspect of this, which is just fascinating. The documents talk a lot about theory of mind. Now, we hear that term thrown around in psychology, usually regarding like child development. But what does it mean in the context of a machine?
So in the context of the ASIST program, theory of mind, or TOM, is defined as the ability to recognize that others have beliefs, desires, and intentions that are different from one's own.
That seems so basic for a human. Like, I know that you don't know what I had for breakfast unless I tell you. I know that if I hide a ball while you're out of the room, you won't know where it is when you come back. My 5-year-old figured that out.
It is basic for a human. Yeah, it usually develops around age 4 or 5. But for a machine, it is revolutionary. Think about it. Most AI assumes a God's eye view.
What do you mean?
It assumes that if it knows where the enemy is on the map, then everyone knows where the enemy is. It assumes perfect information across the board. To have a theory of mind, the AI has to understand that your view of the world is limited.
That my map might be wrong.
Exactly. It has to understand that you might be operating on faulty information.
Yeah.
That you might be wrong. That's a huge step.
So the source breaks this down into 3 layers of modeling. It gets pretty complex. Let's walk through those because I think it shows just how granular this gets.
Certainly. First is the individual layer. The AI needs to model you specifically. What are your goals right now? What are you good at? What are your weaknesses? Are you stressed? Are you tired?
So it's profiling me. It's building a psychological profile on the fly.
In a way, yeah. It's maintaining a dynamic file on your current cognitive and emotional state. Second is the team layer. It needs to zoom out and understand the collective strategy.
The shared mental model we talked about.
Precisely. Are we playing offense or defense right now? Is the team working together cohesively, or is everyone running around like headless chickens? It needs to model the group dynamic.
And the third layer.
The environment. But not just the physical map, not just the geometry. It needs to understand the fog of war.
Yeah.
It needs to understand that there are things the team can't see. It has to model the known unknowns.
There was a really technical slide that broke this down into variables. They used S for observable features and X for latent features. I feel like this distinction is where the magic and the difficulty really lives.
This is the hard problem of sensing that the source describes. It's the crux of the whole thing.
So observable features, the S variables, what are those?
That's the easy stuff. That's anything a computer vision system can see. Where is the team standing? Where is the rubble? Where are the marked threat areas? That's just pixels on a screen or coordinates on a map. Any decent video game bot can track that.
But the latent features, the X variables, that's the invisible stuff.
That is the invisible stuff. Who is the critical victim that needs help first? Who has a false belief? For example, does the engineer on the team think that a corridor is clear when the AI knows it's blocked?
You can't see a belief.
You can't take a picture of a belief. You have to infer it from behavior.
So if I'm running confidently toward a door that the AI knows is locked.
The AI has to look at your vector, your speed, your posture, and say, host believes the door is open. That is a false belief that will impede the mission.
Wow. And the source mentions that current approaches like game theory or Bayesian inference, they struggle with this.
They do.
Why? I thought game theory was all about predicting moves in chess and stuff.
Game theory is great if everyone is a super genius. It's fantastic for modeling perfectly rational actors. It relies on the assumption that humans are rational agents.
Meaning?
Meaning it assumes we will always make the optimal move to maximize our score or our utility.
And as anyone who has ever met a human knows, we are definitely not rational agents.
Not even close.
Especially not when things are exploding.
Exactly. We get tired, we get scared, we get confused, we get tunnel vision, we hold conflicting goals like, I want to save the victim, but also I really don't want to get shot.
We're messy.
We're very messy. And the source explicitly says that current models fail because they rely on these assumptions of rationality that people constantly violate.
So DARPA has this massive problem. They need an AI that can deal with irrational, messy, confused humans who have bad mental models. They need a test bed, a place to train this thing where they can run thousands of scenarios without actually, hurting anyone.
A laboratory for social intelligence.
And this is the part where I honestly did a double take. They aren't doing this in some hyper-realistic physical battlefield simulator. They're doing it in Minecraft.
It is brilliant, actually. I know it sounds absurd on the surface.
I mean, come on. We're talking about national security, about saving lives in urban raids, and we're using the game where my nephew builds dirt huts and fights blocky zombies.
I get the skepticism.
Why not a hyper-realistic military simulator like ARMA or VBS or something?
It does seem counterintuitive. But you have to look at what they are trying to test. They aren't testing ballistics. They aren't testing if the AI can aim a rifle or calculate wind resistance. They are testing social interactions.
Okay, so the blocky graphics don't matter.
In fact, hyperrealism might be a distraction. The source calls Minecraft a controlled yet operationally complex environment. Think about the real world for a second. A door might be stuck because of a rusty hinge. The sun might be in your eyes. The radio might have static.
Too much noise.
Yeah.
Too many variables.
Exactly. If you want to train an AI to understand intent, you need to strip away all the physics noise. Minecraft is perfect because a block is a block. A wall is a wall. Breaking a block takes exactly X seconds. It standardizes the physical world so the AI can focus entirely on the social world.
It's a clean petri dish.
But it's a complex petri dish. And this isn't vanilla Minecraft with pigs and creepers. The testbed environment they built is nasty.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking at the overhead maps in the documentation. It's not just find the victim. It's a full-on urban search and rescue mission, or USR. It looks like a hospital or an office building that has partially collapsed. There are dozens of rooms, long corridors, colored security zones.
And the UI, the user interface, it's crowded. I see a timer counting down, a victim's counter, and a team score.
Yeah.
It looks incredibly stressful.
It is designed to be. The source details the roles involved. You have an engineer whose job is clearing obstructions, so basically breaking the rubble blocks.
Yeah.
And you have a medicine role, or a medic, who is triaging and saving victims, which are represented by specific colored blocks on the ground. And here's the kicker: fog of war.
Right, because in Minecraft, you can't see through walls. You only know what you can see from your first-person perspective.
And in a lot of traditional AI research, the computer cheats. It has God mode. It reads the game's code and knows where everything is at all times.
But not here.
Not here. Here, the AI and the humans are constrained by line of sight. If you're in a room, you don't know what is in the next room until you open the door.
And that creates the perfect condition for those false beliefs we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. It's a false belief generator. Imagine you are the medic. You check room A, it's empty, you leave. You now have a belief in your head. Room A is clear.
Okay.
But then, while you're gone, a wall collapses or the engineer accidentally opens a vent and a threat or maybe another victim appears in room A. Your belief is now false.
And I have no way of knowing that.
But the AI, which might be monitoring multiple perspectives or have access to a slightly wider sensor suite, needs to recognize that you are operating on bad information. It needs to see the mismatch between your model and reality.
There is a great quote in the slides they used to justify this whole approach. It's from Helmuth von Moltke. No battle plan survives first contact with the enemy.
That is the guiding philosophy here. That's why pre-programmed robots fail. You can program a robot with a perfect plan. Go to room A, then room B, then room C.
But the moment the mission starts, chaos ensues.
Walls collapse, teammates get separated, communications fail. The plan is worthless in 10 seconds. The AI needs to adapt, not just execute. It needs to be a jazz musician, improvising with the team, not a classical pianist just playing the notes on the page.
Okay, so we have the problem social intelligence. We have the lab Minecraft. Now let's talk about the brain. How does this AI actually think? The source shows a diagram of the ASI loop or the TA1 agent architectures. It's a circle.
Yeah, and the fact that it's a circle and not a straight line is really important. It's a continuous cycle.
So it's always thinking.
Always. Let's walk through a specific scenario to make this concrete. Imagine we have a team. A human medic, let's call him Mike, and the AI is on his team.
Okay, medic Mike and HAL, the AI.
Hopefully a friendlier HAL. So, step 1 in the loop is observe. The AI watches the game. It sees Mike running down a hallway. It sees a pile of rubble at the end of the hallway. That's the raw data.
Simple enough. Then step 2, represent.
What does that mean? The AI maps those observations onto its internal model of the world. It's not just pixels anymore. It's player object at coordinate X, rubble object at coordinate Y. It's building a structured understanding of the scene.
Got it. Then we get to the core magic, infer.
This is the heavy lifting. The arrow on the diagram points to humans' goals and beliefs. The AI has to look at that representation and ask why.
Why is Mike running that way?
Exactly. Mike is running toward the east wing. Why? He must believe he can get through that hallway. His goal is to reach the other side. He must not know the rubble is there.
And the diagram specifically notes ID, false, and weak beliefs here. So it's actively looking for errors in Mike's thinking. It's a fact checker for my brain.
Correct. It spots the mismatch. Mike's mental model thinks the path is clear. Reality says it's blocked. Once it infers that false belief, it moves to the next step. Predict.
Predicting what happens next.
Right. Future actions and needs. If Mike keeps running, he's going to hit the wall, waste 30 seconds, get frustrated, and maybe get flanked by a threat. His need is information. He needs to know about the rubble.
So once it knows what Mike needs, it moves to plan.
Potential interventions and priorities. The AI calculates its options. Should I tell him now? Is he busy fighting something? If I talk to him, will I distract him from something more important? Is this the most critical piece of information I could give anyone on the team right now?
It's weighing the pros and cons of speaking up.
And finally, if it decides to act, execute.
And what does that look like?
Interventions. The AI sends a message, maybe a text chat, maybe a synthesized voice. Medic Mike, the east hallway's blocked. Suggest rerouting through the north room.
You know, what I love about this is that the goal here isn't just to do the task for him. The source says the goal is automated coaching to improve team function and performance. It's not a player, it's a coach.
Exactly. A coach doesn't run onto the field and kick the ball for the player. They stand on the sidelines and yell, "Watch your left!" or "You've got a man open."
That is what this AI is doing.
It's analyzing the model misalignment. That's the key phrase, where the team's understanding of reality doesn't match the actual reality, and it nudges them back on track.
It's like having a guardian angel who's just really, really good at logistics. Hey, you're about to walk into a trap because you forgot about that one thing someone said 5 minutes ago.
But imagine the nuance required here, and this is something I want to push on a bit.
Go for it.
If the AI talks too much, it's just annoying. It becomes Clippy from Microsoft Word.
Oh, God. It looks like you're trying to rescue a victim. Would you like some help with that?
Exactly. If you are in a high-stress combat situation, or even a competitive game, and a robot voice keeps interrupting you to state the obvious, you are going to mute it. You're going to hate it.
It creates alert fatigue. You just start tuning it out.
Right. So that plan phase is critical. It has to weigh the cost of the interruption against the value of the information. It has to act in a socially appropriate way. It has to, again, read the room.
Now, looking at the program structure section of Source, this wasn't just a one-off experiment. They break this down into phases over several years, from fiscal year 20 to 23. It's almost like watching the AI grow up.
It really is a developmental timeline, just like a child learning social skills. Study 1 was individual passive ASI.
Passive means the AI isn't talking, right? It's just lurking, watching from the shadows.
It's observing, silently. In Study 1, they just had a single human playing the Minecraft scenario. The AI's only job was to infer the training condition.
Meaning what?
Basically, can the AI figure out if this player is a total novice or a seasoned expert just by watching them move and make decisions? Can it build an accurate model of a single person's skill level?
Okay, that makes sense. Start small, then Study 2. Team Passive ASI.
Now they ramp up the complexity. Teams of 3 humans. The AI is still silent, still just watching, but now the goal is to infer the team's shared mental model.
Ah, so not just one person's skill, but how well 3 of them are gelling as a unit.
Exactly. Can the AI tell if the team is working together well? Can it detect when communication breaks down? Can it predict what the team's score will be at the end of the mission just by watching the first 5 minutes?
And the scale here was impressive. It says 68 human teams over 200 participants.
That is a lot of Minecraft. It is a massive data set of human team dynamics, both good and bad.
And then finally, Study 3. Team Active ASI.
The big leap. This is where the AI takes the microphone, the training wheels come
And
out.
it gets a voice.
The goal listed is effective interventions. Now the AI has to use all that data it gathered to predict needs and offer context-aware guidance. It graduates from being a researcher to being a teammate.
Speaking of data, I want to drill down on the data collection methods. Because when I play Minecraft, the only data is me, smashing my keyboard.
Right.
But the source material lists physiological sensors. And this part got very sci-fi, almost cyberpunk for me.
Oh, absolutely. This is not just keystroke logging. They aren't just logging the in-game chat messages. The physiological section lists FNIRS.
FNIRS, functional, near-infrared spectroscopy.
That's the one. You got it.
Okay, for the listener who left their neuroscience degree at home, what exactly is that measuring?
So, you know fMRI, right? The big magnet tube you lie in at the hospital to scan your brain.
Sure. Loud, claustrophobic, tells you what parts of your brain are active.
Right. FNIRS is like a lightweight, portable headband version of that. It uses light instead of magnets. It shines near infrared light into your skull. It's harmless, and it focuses specifically on the prefrontal cortex.
The decision-making center of the brain, the CEO.
Exactly, the executive function. When that part of your brain is working hard, when you're planning or stressed, it needs more fuel. It pulls in more oxygenated blood. The FNIRS device sees that change in blood flow by measuring how the light reflects back.
So it's essentially a tachometer for your brain. It's measuring your cognitive RPMs.
That is the perfect analogy. So imagine this. The AI sees your brain RPMs redlining, your prefrontal cortex is lighting up like a Christmas tree, but your character in the game is just standing still.
It knows I'm overwhelmed, I'm not idle, I'm paralyzed by choice, I'm stuck.
And that is a latent variable. The game logs just say player stop moving. The biometric logs say player is panicking or is in a state of high cognitive load. It's a whole new layer of insight.
And they combine that with eye tracking, measuring pupil diameter and gaze. Why pupil diameter? What does it tell you?
It's another one of these involuntary biological responses. Your pupils dilate when you are cognitively loaded or stressed or surprised. It's hardwired into your nervous system.
You can't fake it.
You can't fake it. You can lie on the radio and say, I'm fine, Sarge, I got this. But your eyes and your cerebral blood flow will tell the AI he is absolutely not fine. He is nearing cognitive collapse and needs help.
That is incredible. And also, frankly, a little terrifying. The AI's observe phase isn't just seeing your avatar. It's seeing you. It knows you are stressed before you even say it, maybe before you're even fully conscious of it yourself.
It creates a kind of radical transparency that we're just not used to. It strips away the poker face we all wear in a team environment.
So this all brings us to the real-world applications. Because as fun as Minecraft is, DARPA isn't doing this to improve esports teams. The mission relevance slide lists some very, very serious scenarios.
Right. The Minecraft testbed is just a proxy. The first application listed is the most direct translation, search and rescue urban raid.
So first responders entering a burning building or a tactical team entering a hostile structure for a hostage rescue.
Exactly. In that scenario, the fog of war is literal smoke and debris. And relying on voice comms is hard. It's noisy, it's chaotic, people talk over each other.
Right.
If an AI can quietly monitor the team's positions and biometrics and send a simple targeted alert to the squad leader's display that says, Team 2 has been stationary for 3 minutes and their heart rates are spiking, that is clean, actionable intel that saves lives.
Another one that caught my eye was cyber protection teams. That's a bit of a leap.
It's a fascinating abstraction, isn't it? Network security is a team sport. You have people patching servers, people hunting for intruders, people monitoring network traffic. It's all happening in a purely digital space.
So where is the rubble in cyber defense? What's the victim?
The rubble is the corrupted code. The rubble is the DDoS attack that's blocking a critical server. The victim is the database that's being exfiltrated by hackers. The source mentions cyber systems engineering. Imagine a team of cyber defenders trying to stop a hacker. If 2 defenders are investigating the same compromised server without realizing it, they are wasting precious time and resources. That's a shared mental model failure.
They both believe the other guy is checking the firewall, when in reality nobody is.
Right. The AI, which sees all the activity logs, could flag that instantly. User A is already patching server 4. User B should move to the firewall. It makes the invisible workflow visible.
They also mentioned tactical field care. This is medical teams in combat zones.
Again, high stress, high noise, life or death decisions every second. The medic role in the Minecraft scenario was a direct parallel to this.
How so?
If a medic is hyper-focused on stopping a catastrophic bleed, they get tunnel vision, they might lose track of the overall tactical situation, like where the evac helicopter is landing, or if a threat is approaching.
Right.
The AI can maintain that wider environment model while the human medic focuses on the critical individual task at hand. It can be their second set of eyes.
And finally, the last one they list is coaching and training.
And this might be the most immediate and widespread application. Using these ASI agents to train humans before they ever deploy.
Like a flight simulator for teamwork.
Exactly. You play the simulation with the AI coach, and afterwards it gives you a detailed debrief. It critiques your communication and teamwork. At timestamp 14.32, you didn't tell your engineer about the obstruction you saw, which cost the team 45 seconds. You learn, you get better, you become a better teammate.
It's adaptive training is the term they use.
Yes, the AI adapts the difficulty and the scenarios based on how well the team is actually working together. If you're gelling, it throws a harder problem at you.
There is a slide near the end of the deck that's titled Agent Social Intelligence, ASI, enables superhuman teams. That is a bold claim, superhuman.
It sounds like something out of a comic book, but they define it very carefully. It's not about replacing humans with super robots. It's about human-AI symbiosis.
Symbiosis. Like the pilot fish and the shark.
Working together in a way that benefits both, making the whole greater than the sum of its parts. The slide lists key theoretical inputs for this, like trust to strategy alignment and collective intelligence.
So the idea is that a team of humans plus this socially intelligent AI is smarter and more capable than the humans alone, or the AI alone.
It's the centaur model of chess that Garry Kasparov talked about. A decent human player plus a decent computer beats the best computer in the world.
But this is applied to teamwork.
Right, because the machine handles the macrocognition, the big picture, the patterns, the data tracking that humans are bad at, especially under stress, while the humans handle the intuition, the creative problem solving, the execution, and the moral judgment.
The source calls for a revolution in cognitive modeling, moving from passive observation to active generalization in complex, open worlds. That really sums up the whole journey from study 1 to study 3.
It is a fundamental shift from AI as a spectator to AI as a participant.
So, bringing this all back together, we started with the idea that AI makes a bad teammate because it's too literal. It lacks a soul, or at least the theory of mind.
It can't read the vibe.
It can't read the vibe. And we've seen that DARPA is trying to engineer that soul, or at least a functional approximation of it, by teaching an AI to infer our beliefs, predict our mistakes, and gently coach us toward the win.
And they're doing it using Minecraft blocks as the training ground. It's really amazing how a game about breaking rocks has become the frontier for military artificial intelligence.
It really is.
It just shows that the principles of teamwork are universal. Whether you are raiding a dungeon in a video game or rescuing hostages in the real world, you need to know what your partner is thinking.
But I want to push on the coaching aspect before we wrap up, because on paper it sounds great. Automated coaching to improve team function. Who doesn't want to be a better team?
It's the symbiosis goal, right? The ideal state.
But imagine the reality of it. You're in a high-stakes situation. You're arguing with your teammate about which door to open. You're stressed. You think you're right. And a machine voice cuts into your ear and says, "Host, analysis shows you are being irrational. Expert is correct. Your anger levels are elevating."
It's the ultimate calm down instruction. And we all know how well humans respond to being told to calm down, especially by a machine.
Exactly. I'd want to smash the computer. It feels condescending.
And that is a huge risk. The trust-to-strategy alignment mentioned in the slides is key. If the AI is annoying, or if it feels like a micromanager, the humans will just turn it off. They'll reject it.
But flip that. What if the AI is right? What if it's always right? What if it saves your life because it noticed your partner was distracted and you weren't?
Then you learn to rely on it. You learn to trust it.
And that becomes the dependency. And that's the scary thought I can't shake from all this. If we have this superhuman team where the AI is our social and emotional processor, do we forget how to do it ourselves?
Use it or lose it. The classic problem of automation.
If I don't have to read your body language because the AI whispers, "He's stressed in my ear," do I stop looking at your face? Do we become these autistic nodes in a network connected only by the machine that's mediating all our feelings for us?
That is the ultimate question of dependency, isn't it? If we outsource empathy to an algorithm, does the muscle atrophy? Do we lose the very skill that makes us good teammates in the first place?
I think that is a question for the philosophers, not just the engineers at DARPA.
Indeed. But for now, the engineers are busy building the model.
Well, until the AI comes to mediate our arguments, I guess I'll just have to try and guess what you're thinking the old-fashioned way.
Good luck with that.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you on the next mission.
Stay safe out there.